When the beta for Back 4 Blood was live, I made a video guide with all the information needed about all the different systems and mechanics in the game. Since the launch release is now available, it is time to update that video. Some of the information is slightly different, but this time I want to organize everything as neatly as possible. This time I will simplify everything into its own category. At the end I will share some bonus tips that might not fit specifically into a category. After watching this video, you should have a really good understanding of how Back 4 Blood works and what you should do before playing the game for the first time. If you need to skip to a specific section of the video, there are chapters that are linked in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, and hit the sub bell for future video and stream notifications. The very first thing you should do is get to know the cleaners. These are the 8 playable characters. Each of them comes with their own set of perks and bonuses. Afterwards, start searching for cards that suit the cleaners you are interested in playing and build a deck. Cards are like player perks that modify your stats and provide unique abilities. There are many cards to choose from, so pick wisely. Cards can sometimes have negative effects, so be careful with those. There are also team cards that affect yourself and the team. Basic cards are very general cards that either increase stamina, health, ammo capacity, or provide bonus copper. The player can design their own decks for campaign and versus using the cards they unlock. The starter card, which is the first card in the deck, is free and automatically given at the start of a campaign run or versus match. After that, you will draw the cards in the order you add them to the deck. Each deck can hold 15 cards maximum. If you run out of cards to draw from your deck, you will draw basic cards instead. Cards can be unlocked through supply lines. These Season Pass style unlock tracks have cards and, for whatever reason, cosmetics. You must buy everything in order, sometimes having to buy the cosmetics in order to get to the cards. Supply points are used to unlock items in supply lines. They are usually earned by completing runs or matches, and from completing challenge corruption cards. Keep in mind you will earn less supply points if someone dies and doesn't make it to the safe room. There are various modes in Back 4 Blood, including campaign, versus, and solo campaign. Solo campaign provides no supply points, so play this at your own discretion. If you go in the preferences settings in the play tab, there is an option to make a private lobby, but I haven't been able to try it because it requires 2 or more players in the lobby to start. This is also where you can enable or disable crossplay if you need to. The Armory is not what it sounds like. It's where you apply skins to your weapons. I know, really exciting. The Ridden are the enemies in Back 4 Blood. These worm-infested piles of meat have a few variations, including the slow-walking shamblers, medium-speed joggers, and fast-speed runners. They are really easy to kill, but can be overwhelming if you let them. Mutant Ridden are the special infected of this game. There are different types of mutants, some of which have variations that have different abilities. I won't spoil what they do, mostly because there is a metric shitload of them, but also I don't want to take away the surprise of discovering them for the first time. My biggest tip for dealing with them is staying as far away as possible. During the start of each level, the game will draw a random number of corruption cards, which modify the Ridden, mutants, and the world. There are special challenge cards that provide bonus supply points and copper for completing the challenge, event cards that create an additional obstacle in the world, and the Ridden cards that modify or buff certain types of Ridden. The number of them per level can vary based on the level itself and the difficulty. Some levels have a default corruption card every time you play. Apart from the starter card you get for free, at the start of each level or match, you can draw the top 5 cards from your deck and choose one to activate. Sometimes it will give you more than one card to activate depending on which checkpoint you choose in your campaign run. Copper is the main currency. It can be found throughout the world, earned after finishing a level, and earned by completing challenge cards. It is used to buy from the purchase boxes and health stations. Purchase boxes can be used to buy weapons, attachments, team upgrades, ammo, and equipment. They spawn in every safe room at the beginning of the level. Team upgrades can either buff a stat for each player or increase the tier of one of the 3 equipment types. I mean, these are pretty self-explanatory. There are guns and melee weapons. Weapons, weapon attachments, and equipment have a tier system similar to other games that get slightly better with each tier. Weapon attachments include barrel, magazine, sight, and stock attachments. Unfortunately, you cannot remove attachments from guns at the moment. If you find a loose one, you can use it to swap attachments. I do remember the devs saying this feature will be updated in the future. Back 4 Blood has 3 types of equipment. There are offensive, support, and quick. Offensive are basically grenades, with the exception of the barbed wire. Support are medical items, and quick items are special tools like the toolkit, defibrillator, and ammo box. There are 4 types of supply boxes that will provide different types of loot. There is a weapon box, ammo box, equipment box, and attachment box. There are 2 types of card boxes that can be found randomly in the world. The basic card box gives you one of the 4 basic cards for free, and the metal card box has 1 random purchasable card. Trauma damage is slightly different from regular damage. By taking damage from any damage source, the player's health bar will start to grow a dark red section. This is the trauma damage the player has taken and cannot be healed unless if you use a health station or have a card that can heal trauma damage. You can temporarily heal trauma damage using the Pills health item. Health stations are these red health boxes attached to walls that spawn randomly in the world. Your team gets a certain number of free uses per station before having to use 400 copper to heal. The higher the difficulty, the fewer free uses you have. This is something I never paid attention to, but as far as I know, strikes are basically the number of times you can be revived before dying upon getting downed. They are the white pluses next to the health bar. You can get more of them by healing at a health station. Supply caches are these locked rooms throughout the world that require a toolkit to open, but are very worth opening. They usually include random loot items, but always have a health station. When looting the world, be aware that there are loot spawn points literally everywhere. If the coast is clear, look through alleys, bathrooms, and out-of-the-way areas. You never know what you might find. The game features various types of alarms that can alert Ridden. They include the infected birds, cars with flashing alarm lights, some locked doors, and the Snitcher mutant. Sometimes there may be an event corruption card that will spawn more of these. Finally, bots are used in place of players in case there aren't enough connected to your campaign lobby. They were basically worthless in the beta, but are much better in the early access release. They do provide ammo if you start to run low, they will heal you, and in general don't suck as much as before. Do note that if you join a quick campaign run and take the place of a bot, you will be stuck with whatever cards the bot activated, which is usually the starter deck, until the next level starts. To finish off this video, I will share any bonus tips on screen that don't really fit into one category. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, and hit the sub bell for future video and stream notifications.